The clock on the movie screen hit 12:01 a.m. New Year's Day. The theater lights exploded into a harsh blue glow, and the screen froze on one single frame. The sound cut out. No music. No voices. Just silence so loud it hurt. Then Freddy turned his head. Not in the movie. In the theater. People screamed as the animatronic stood up from the front row, its metal joints clicking as it moved. Its eyes glowed bright blue, scanning the crowd like it was counting them. On the frozen screen behind it, red letters burned for a few seconds. 5 Nights at Freddy's 7, only in cinemas, January 1st. The letters vanished. The exit doors slammed shut. Locked. Freddy smiled wider. And the countdown began. Earlier that night, January 1st felt like a fresh start. Everyone was still tired from New Year's Eve. Fireworks smoke hung in the air, and the streets were quieter than usual. That's why Noah thought it was perfect. One last horror movie, he said, holding up his phone. First movie of the year. His friends followed him toward the old movie theater at the edge of town. Emma walked beside him, hands in her jacket pockets. Behind them were Jake and Lily, arguing softly about whether this movie was even real. I swear, Jake said, there were no trailers. No ads. Just a poster. That's the point, Lily replied. It's supposed to be secret. Only in cinemas. One night. The theater came into view, its sign flickering blue and white. Some letters didn't work. The building looked darker than the rest of the street, like the light didn't want to touch it. Noah slowed down. Does this place look closed? It's open, Emma said, pointing. See? Lights are on. Inside, the lobby was quiet. No music. No talking from staff. Just the low hum of the lights. A man stood at the ticket counter. He didn't smile. 4 tickets, Noah said. The man handed them over without a word. The tickets were cold, almost damp. Screen 7, they read. Enjoy the show, the man said flatly. Emma frowned. He didn't even check our IDs. They walked into the theater. It was half full. Teens whispering. A few adults sitting alone. Everyone looked excited, but nervous too. The lights were already dim. Jake leaned close. This already feels wrong. The movie didn't start with previews. It started with a black screen. A soft ticking sound filled the room. Tick. 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 A digital clock appeared. 11:59 p.m. Noah felt his heart speed up. The clock changed. 12 a.m. The movie began. At first, it was normal. A dark hallway. Security cameras. Freddy standing still on a stage. The sounds were quiet, slow, creepy but expected. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then a woman near the aisle stood up. Is the sound broken? The movie froze. The lights flickered blue. The woman laughed nervously. Okay, good joke. The exit doors slammed shut. Hard. People gasped. Someone rushed to the door and pulled. Locked. The screen went black. White words appeared. No exit. No pause. Noah pulled out his phone. No signal. Emma whispered. Noah! I don't like this. The speakers crackled. A calm voice spoke. Welcome to night 1. Something scraped the floor behind them. Metal. Jake turned around. Did you hear? A loud bang hit the ceiling. Dust fell onto the seats. A vent near the front of the theater began to shake. The screen flickered back on. The clock now read 12:08 a.m. The movie continued, but the sound felt wrong. Footsteps sounded closer than the screen showed. Breathing felt real. The vent burst open. Something fell out. A metal hand hit the floor and twitched. People screamed. The hand dragged itself forward, fingers scraping loudly. Then the screen glitched. And Freddy stepped out of the movie. Now, in the present, Freddy stood in the aisle, taller than the seats. His body was scratched and worn, like he had been used too many times. His eyes moved slowly, stopping on Noah. Noah whispered, "This isn't part of it." Freddy's head turned toward him. Like he heard. The speakers crackled again. "Night 1 has begun," the voice said. Freddy took a step forward. People ran. Seats flipped. Someone fell. Someone screamed and went quiet. Noah grabbed Emma's hand. "Move!" They ran toward the side aisle. Jake and Lily followed close behind. They reached the exit door. Noah slammed his shoulder into it. It didn't move. Behind them, Freddy laughed. A deep, broken sound that echoed through the theater. The screen turned on again, now showing the theater from above, like a security camera. A red dot blinked in the corner. Rec. A timer appeared. 12:10 a.m. Lily stared at the screen. "It's recording us." Freddy suddenly moved faster. Noah turned to run. And the screen changed. The movie screen cracked open again, but this time it showed a long hallway. Bright lights. Cameras. Doors with warning signs. Words appeared on the screen. Security access. Employees only. The front doors burst open. Not to the lobby. To the hallway from the screen. Freddy stopped and pointed at it. "Proceed," the voice said calmly. The timer kept counting. And the hallway lights flickered on. The hallway lights flickered once, then stayed on. Bright white. Too bright. Noah stood frozen, staring into the long hallway that had opened where the theater doors used to be. The walls were smooth and clean, lined with cameras that followed them as they moved. Red warning lights blinked near the ceiling. Behind them, Freddy did not move. He just stood there, smiling, waiting. Emma squeezed Noah's hand. "I don't want to go in there." Jake swallowed hard. "We don't have a choice." The calm voice spoke again, coming from everywhere at once. "Please proceed to the security area. Remaining in the theater is not recommended." As if to prove the point, the theater lights behind them went dark. The sound of metal scraping came from the shadows between the seats. Noah took a shaky breath. Okay. We go." They ran into the hallway. The doors slammed shut behind them with a loud crash. The sound echoed again and again, like the building was laughing. The hallway felt cold. The air smelled like metal and dust. Their footsteps sounded too loud on the floor. Cameras followed them, turning slowly as they passed. Lily whispered, "This looks real." "It is real," the voice replied calmly. "You are now inside Freddy Fazbear's security operations." Emma stopped walking. "You're lying," the voice posed. "I do not lie." The hallway split into two paths. One glowed blue. The other glowed red. A screen on the wall turned on. "Choose your path." Blue, security check. Red, performance access. Jake pointed at the blue hallway. "Security sounds safer. Or it sounds like a trap," Lily said. Behind them, something heavy hit the closed doors. Once. Twice. The sound made Noah's chest tighten. "Blue," Noah said quickly. "Now." They ran down the blue-lit hallway. The lights here were dimmer, softer. The walls felt closer, like they were slowly moving in. At the end of the hallway was a metal door with a glowing hand symbol. Emma reached out. The door slid open with a hiss. Inside was a small control room. Screens covered the walls, each one showing a different camera view. The theater. The lobby. The hallway behind them. One screen showed Freddy. Still standing in the aisle. Still smiling. A digital clock glowed above the screens. 12:30 a.m. Words appeared beneath it. "Shift 1 active." Jake stepped back. "Shift?" The voice returned. "You are now responsible for maintaining system stability." A new message flashed. "Task: keep power above 0. A large lever stood in the middle of the room. It shook slightly, like it was barely holding on. Noah grabbed it. "I think this controls the lights." He pulled it down. The control room lights flickered. On the screen, the theater lights turned on for a moment. Freddy froze mid-step, 1 foot lifted off the ground. Emma gasped. It stopped. A loud beep echoed. Power draining. The lever shook harder. Lily pointed at another screen. Look! On a camera showing the ceiling of the hallway, something crawled past the lights. Smaller than Freddy. Faster. Its eyes glowed blue as it moved. Jake whispered, "There's more than one." The lights flickered again. The voice spoke, softer now. "Darkness increases activity." The lever snapped upward. The room went dark. For 1 second. Then red emergency lights turned on. On the screen, the smaller animatronic dropped from the ceiling and landed right outside the control room door. Its head twitched as it looked straight at the camera. Emma screamed. "It's right there!" The screen flashed. Task failed. Retry required. Noah slammed the lever back down with all his strength. The lights burst on. The animatronic froze inches from the door, its hand raised like it was about to knock. Everyone held their breath. The clock changed. 1 a.m. Jake let out a shaky laugh. "We did it!" The voice returned. "Good work. Proceed to the next area." A door on the far side of the room slid open, revealing another hallway. This one was darker, lit only by blue lights along the floor. Noah shook his head. "I don't like this." "You are progressing as expected," the voice said. Behind them, the screens flickered. The frozen animatronic's finger moved. "Just a little." "Go!" Lily shouted. They ran through the open door. The hallway was long and sloped downward. Warning signs covered the walls. Old posters of smiling animatronics were taped up, their eyes scratched out. The floor vibrated with a low hum. At the end of the hallway was a large room. A stage filled the far wall. Animatronics stood on it. 5 of them. All white. All smiling. All perfectly still. Emma whispered, "Don't move." The door behind them slammed shut. Locked. A screen above the stage turned on. Performance mode. "Please remain still." The lights dimmed. Blue spotlights turned on one by one. The animatronic's eyes lit up. Blue. 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 Jake backed up. "Noah!" The animatronics stepped off the stage together. The lights went out. Something whispered right behind them. And the clock jumped to 1:01 a.m. Noah froze. He could feel warm air behind his ear. Not human. Not alive. Metal and heat and oil. "Do not move," the calm voice whispered. "Movement increases danger." Emma squeezed Noah's hand so hard it hurt. Jake and Lily stood stiff, barely breathing. The blue spotlights flickered back on. The animatronics were closer now. Much closer. They stood in a half-circle around them, smiling the same frozen smile. Their eyes glowed bright blue, lighting up the room like tiny flashlights. A loud ding echoed overhead. The screen above the stage changed. 1:01 a.m. Night 1, active. One animatronic lifted its arm. Slowly. Another tilted its head. The third took 1 step forward. Noah shouted, "Run!" They ran. The animatronics did not chase right away. They followed. Slow. Heavy. Sure. A door slid open on the side of the room, glowing blue. Noah ran straight for it, pulling Emma with him. Jake and Lily followed, their footsteps echoing loudly. The door slammed shut behind them just as metal hands hit it from the other side. The hallway beyond was narrow and dark. Blue floor lights flickered like they might die at any second. Jake panted, "Where are we now?" A screen on the wall turned on. "Security level B." The calm voice returned, but it sounded tired now. Less friendly. "You are doing well," it said. "Very few make it this far." "That's not comforting," Lily yelled. The hallway opened into another control room, bigger than the first. More screens. More buttons. More switches. In the center was a wide glass window. Noah stepped closer. Below them was a huge room. filled with animatronics. Dozens. Standing shoulder to shoulder. All facing up toward the glass. All smiling. Emma whispered. They were waiting. A digital clock appeared on the main screen. 2 a.m. Text flashed beneath it. Task, balance systems. 3 switches were mounted on the wall. Lights. Doors. Sound. The lights switch shook. Noah grabbed it and pushed it up. The room brightened slightly. Below, some animatronics froze. Jake ran to the door's switch and pushed it up. On one screen, heavy metal doors slammed shut around the lower room. Lily pointed at the last switch. The sound! A low hum filled the control room. It made Noah's head hurt. Animatronics below started to move. Turn it off! Emma cried. Noah slammed the sound switch up. Silence. The animatronics froze again. Everyone breathed. The clock changed. 2:45 a.m. The calm voice spoke again. They are learning. The lights flickered. 2 switches dropped at the same time. Noah and Jake rushed to hold them up. Below, the animatronics began stacking on top of each other. Climbing. Reaching. They're coming up! Lily shouted. The room shook. Something hit the door behind them. Once. Twice. A crack appeared in the metal. The clock jumped. 3:30 a.m. Emma's voice shook. How long until morning? The voice posed. Until 5 a.m., it said. If systems remain stable. The lights went out. Complete darkness. Something slammed into the glass window. Hard. Red emergency lights turned on. An animatronic face was pressed against the glass. Its smile was wider than the others. Its eyes stared right at Noah. Noah screamed. The light switch snapped down. Noah threw his whole body against it. The lights burst back on. The animatronic froze inches from the glass. The clock changed again. 4:15 a.m. The calm voice sounded strained now. You are very close. The door behind them exploded inward. Metal flew across the room. 2 animatronics stepped inside. Their eyes locked onto Emma. Jake grabbed a chair and threw it. It bounced off one animatronic and fell uselessly to the floor. The animatronics stepped closer. All 3 switches dropped at once. Everything went dark. Emma screamed. Noah felt cold metal grab his arm. No! Noah shouted. He lunged forward and slammed his hand on the control panel. All switches snapped up. The room exploded in blue light. Every animatronic froze. Mid-step. Mid-reach. Mid-grab. The screen flickered. 4:59 a.m. Silence filled the building. Then, 5 a.m. A loud bell rang through the halls. The animatronics collapsed where they stood, crashing to the floor like broken toys. Green exit lights turned on. Unlocked. Noah didn't think. Go! They ran. They ran through silent hallways, past frozen faces, past cameras that no longer moved. They burst through a final door into cold morning air. The sun was rising. Cars passed by. People walked their dogs. Someone laughed. It was January 1st. A new year. They collapsed on the sidewalk, shaking and crying and laughing all at once. Behind them, the theater looked normal. Dark. Closed. Empty. Police came later. They said there was no screening. No staff. No cameras. No record of anyone inside. The posters were gone. That night, Noah lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His phone buzzed. A message appeared. Thank you for attending. 5 nights at Freddy's 7. See you next year. His bedroom lights flickered blue. And somewhere, very softly, Freddy laughed.